Hello everybody, welcome to another movie review where we talk about Spider-Man Homecoming.
And our first Marvel review.
And
you know, today too.
We got three of us, and the movie was,
you know, after a while, I mean, this is the third.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost
third actor.
Third, it's just kind of.
Yeah, you know.
It's kind of like the Doctor Who's where they just keep replacing the same type character.
Yeah, good.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I can't do this. I can't. The movie was awesome. Okay, guys. The movie was awesome.
I have another word for you.
What?
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Yes.
And look, before we really get into it, I have to ask you guys a question. I'm always about asking questions.
Heaven forbid you don't ask a question.
Heaven forbid I don't.
I'm scared of this question.
Okay, well, it's not a major heavy question, but the one I have to ask is, what do you guys, or what are your opinion of the other 5 Spider-Man films before this one? Because look, this is another reboot. So there have been other
more of
films.
An official, well, not truly official, but half official Marvel film / Sony.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a collaboration.
I think because they did it through Marvel, it just did it better. You know.
Well, no, I mean, what is your opinion of the other 5? I mean, just quick.
The first 2 with Sam Raimi.
Yes.
Were, I mean, those were 2, especially the first one was my favorite.
Yes.
I think they did such a good job. Yes, Tobey Maguire, slightly too old to play, but I thought, well, he's more college Spider-Man.
Yes.
Still in high school, but I'm like, okay, I can look over past that because it's the movie.
Yeah.
Overlook it.
Sure.
Love those 2 films. The first 2 have my heart every single time I see them on TV, or if I look them past my video diaries.
Yeah.
Or my collection. Sorry, I go, wow, I kind of want to watch that.
Okay.
Yeah. After 2,
the
it's just
third
like,
one, I think they kind of forced Sam Raimi to put Venom in, and just this plot of him being an ass. Even though, yes, it does match the Cenobite, or not the Cenobite.
Cenobites.
Damn,
we're entering a whole new franchise.
Yeah, well, the alien. I keep on.
Oh, the alien symbiote.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, okay. Then the second reboot I was excited for it, and there's a few things in there I liked, but overall, it was like Peter Parker was kind of like stalking and being brooding.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
doesn't work.
Doesn't seem to
doesn't work.
I felt the casting for the first one. I love the first one. I mean, it's compared to Homecoming, which we will get into.
We'll get into, but I mean, the first one with Tobey Maguire was...
It shows you how he's getting his abilities, how he got started, you know.
Was a beloved film. Everybody really loved it.
You see the tragedy that helped him become Spider-Man.
The second one was really good.
Yeah, it showed him his dual identity starting to conflict with his life.
The third one is the film we shall not name. And
I will say the third one is better than the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Yes,
I did not care for that one.
To me, it's almost on par, and it was the third one in the reboot. Slightly...
It's like a sliver... The third one's like a sliver better for me than the Amazing Spider-Man series.
Sure. But the Amazing Spider-Man series, I felt like, especially the 2 of them, they tried to go dark, brooding, as you said. They tried to...
The villains were kind of a joke.
Yes, and they tried to build this sort of almost cinematic universe before they really developed it well enough. They were like, we're just going to throw a whole bunch of crap in here, and hopefully people are really going to respond to it. And that's not how you do it, and it failed.
I mean, the biggest...
No, there's a way of doing it, but they did. I think, yeah, like you said, they went the wrong way.
They went the wrong way.
And 3 villains that were the worst for me: the Rhino, with Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
You know, first of all, that wasn't even a rhino. That was Mecha Rhino.
Mecha Rhino.
That was the Japanese version of Rhino.
That was like Robot
Jamie
Wars.
Foxx as Electro.
So,
Jamie Foxx as Electro. Oh my God, that was beyond horrible.
Yeah, that was
that was
bad.
an Electro. That was the Blue Man Group.
Yeah, that was the Blue Man Group. Yeah.
Blue Transparent
Yes.
Group.
Oh yeah, it was bad.
Blue Man Group meets Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
Dr. Manhattan. Yeah.
Without the super duper powers, but he was so super duper. And it was that. I was like, what? So I didn't mind Jamie Foxx being Electro, but they made him so overpowered. It's like, well, if he can do that, he can destroy the city.
Yeah, you
Yes.
could just think it and incinerate.
I didn't mind-
Spider-Man
I didn't-
anywhere.
But let's just say that they were not good.
And the
and-
one Venom, I hated that one the most.
Yes, but because it failed so badly, Sony decided to team up with Marvel.
Which
Best move they ever made.
yes,
And because
Genius.
look, Sony, this is Sony's film. They put up the money for it. They are getting the money from the box office. All this jazz. What
Franchise
Marvel
is killing
did,
it.
but what Marvel did is that Marvel, they cast it. They picked the director. They picked the story. They
the right cast.
everything like that. So there's a balance to it, and I think it was extremely smart move on the part of Sony to team up with Marvel to bring him back into the fold.
I think what they saw with the other Sony properties, what they did, and said, wow, maybe they dropped their ego and said, you know what, look at what we've done. The first two Spider-Mans, great, but then we got maybe more corporate, or maybe this or that.
They're just dropping the ball a little.
And it's like, they said, you know what, Marvel's been hitting home runs.
Yes,
How about we team up with them? Drop this ego.
doesn't hurt.
No, and have this team up. You know, they had superhero team ups. Why not a corporation team up with Marvel / Disney?
Yeah,
Let's work it out.
let's work it out. And you're right on that. Now, I guess the best place to start here is the fact of no, we're getting
a horror-
oh,
a
it's
horror review.
It's a horror review.
I know, a scary monster in the back.
This review, guys, is already going off the rails.
And mind you, we are going to spoil the film if we get this
Later
far.
on.
Later, yeah, we are going to spoil the film, just so you guys know, but it'll be a little bit later on. So we're not going to get into heavy spoilers, but there will be some minor ones, just so you guys know.
This one will get even scarier as soon as we get to the spoilers.
Oh, sure. But I guess the best place to start is Spider-Man himself, because if you can't get the casting right for Spider-Man, everything's done. You lose it all, and like I said, Tobey Maguire, as we've talked about, a little too old. I thought that, what's his face from The Amazing Spider-Man?
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield. I felt like the wrong choice.
Yeah, he looked like Spider-Man's been doing it for a long time.
Tom Holland, who plays this
He actually
character,
looks like a teenager. I think he is a teenager.
Slightly, yeah.
19?
I think he's 20, but he still looks very youthful, very young, and
He
He's
got the
very
voice like a
energetic
teenager.
and athletic.
Yeah.
yes, and
Even
that's
outside of what he's done in this movie, I think he's known for like free running. He does calisthenic stuff even before this movie. So
He's got
that's
the
why when
look
they looked
down.
at him, like, well, here's a guy who's already athletic. He's got the youthful look.
yes.
I know he's done some films other than this, and I just can't remember
Yeah,
them.
he did recently. He did The Lost City of Z, and it didn't come here, unfortunately, or I would have went to see it. But I heard he's very good in that, and he's really good as Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
He's really good.
I mean, I was worried in Civil War when we see him. You know, it's like when he gets his own movie, I was like, oh,
Can he carry it? And he carried it. Not only is he good as Spider-Man, but he's equally as good as being Peter Parker.
Yes.
Because he's got
the look and personality down.
Well, yeah, you can pull off Spider-Man.
Yes.
But Peter Parker's a little bit tougher to
Kind of like
get
Bruce
right.
Wayne and Batman.
Yes. He does a great job as Peter Parker of playing this young, youthful, wants to be an adult, wants to have the responsibility, but he's not
A newbie superhero that wants to step up.
But he's only like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And so he's trying to be somebody that he's quite not there yet.
And that's Spider-Man.
Yes.
In the comics, he's always trying to help, but there are times he makes these decisions that affect not just him, but everyone around him.
Yes, absolutely.
And this film portrays that very well.
Absolutely. And again, I think, as you said, he gets the action scenes well. He does a good job with actually portraying somebody who's immature yet trying to be mature, somebody who is trying to take on the world on his shoulders.
Yeah, trying to be responsible, but
yes,
acts less responsible than you expect.
Yes, I thought that was really, really good of him. I thought he did a fantastic job. That's spot-on casting in my mind. And I thought all the actors did a great job.
Oh, yeah.
And of casting,
yes.
I never thought Michael Keaton could play a complete villain.
You've never seen the other stuff that he's done before?
I've seen this and that of him.
Like what was it? Pacific Heights?
I've never seen Pacific Heights. I tell you,
I think so, yeah.
I think that movie he plays really like evil really well. He's been in a lot of movies.
What was that one that we saw him in where he played a former superhero movie actor?
Birdman.
He was superb in Birdman. He's a really solid actor. When you get this guy,
the serial killer thing off in this movie.
When you get,
not more of a. I wouldn't say
he's not a serial killer.
Well, I'm just saying he pulled out the stare.
A murderous
had
murderous tendencies.
Don't mess with me type of guy.
Not much of a spoiler here, but the scene in the car when he has Peter Parker in the back seat.
Yeah, when he's car.
And I gotta admit that scene when that dialogue and how he's delivering it, saying like, "Listen, I'll kill you, I'll kill you and everyone in your family." I was like,
he's like,
"Wow, that's deep. That is."
He just has this intense stare.
All this intense,
that very intense moment, and I was like, even when I was watching this, I'm like, wow, that actually almost gave me some slight chills.
Keaton and Holland were just blowing it up in
Keaton,
this film.
A lot of people were nervous about Keaton because they felt like, they're gonna keep him on a short leash. They're gonna keep him on a short leash, and they're not gonna have him really be as menacing as he could be. And maybe because of it's a Marvel film, maybe they didn't quite go the extreme far with it, but they didn't have to. They didn't have to. It worked. It worked like gangbusters, and he did a fantastic job.
It made him menacing enough to make him a threat, but it's like tone it back to a point where he's like, he's just a complete killing machine.
Yes,
in the where it's like 8 years later, you can imagine the bad things he's done.
Yes,
within that, because he's that intensity that he's even with his criminal crew, that they're slightly afraid of him.
They are slightly afraid of him, and yet they respect him.
Yes.
Well, you can kind of relate to the guy in the film too.
He's a guy that you find out at least who
in the beginning
is a hard worker, somebody who cleans up the messes that the Avengers have made.
Yep.
And basically they come in,
they clean everything up,
and basically one day associates of Stark and the government come in and say, you're not going to do this anymore.
You're not going to have a job.
You're not going to have a job.
Yep.
And suddenly they're like, so we just got screwed over by the people who are making this very same mess.
Yeah.
And we're in
our business for ourselves.
Lay over and die, basically.
Yeah, we have to feed ourselves. We have to feed our family. And we're just going to go into business for ourselves selling this stuff that they brought here because of their reckless actions.
Yes.
So, so that's what they do.
That's a little spoiler right there.
It's a little spoiler.
Minor spoiler.
It's a minor spoiler, but yes. Also, I want to talk about Robert Downey.
Yes.
Because a lot of people before this movie were very worried. They said, it's not going to be the Spider-Man movie, it's going to be the Iron Man movie.
And I don't think they were going to
They don't have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about that.
His cameos aren't super long, and
they're not only are they not super long, but he was effective in it.
In a lot of ways, when you think about it, he's sort of like Jiminy Cricket to Pinocchio for him Iron Man to Spider-Man. Sort of like...
I was going to say more like maybe... Oh, sorry. Yep.
That was... You know what that was?
What?
That was the Invisible Man trying to take us down.
That was.
And he's not... See? He's...
Yeah.
So you kids out there, you look out for some guy, that was a predator.
Yes. Sorry about that, guys. My phone is a little messed up, and this car is not mine. It's our friend. So, but yeah. So no, I was gonna say more of like Uncle Ben. Like he's the Uncle Ben version, I would say.
Yeah, I could also say that.
Yeah, I could
kind of like he pushes Parker at the most critical moments to help him become better than when Iron Man started out.
Yeah, and Iron Man or Tony Stark says in the film that he wants Spider-Man to be even better than him.
Yes, because he's done a lot of things, let's be honest, that have been...
He's kind of screwed the pooch on that one.
Yeah. All he sees the kid is, before he became all corrupted, before he started doing all the bad things, it's like, this kid was me before I became the pompous jerk, before I became Iron Man.
Yes.
And another thing about the film I enjoyed...
Sure.
...was they didn't beat it over our head that his origin story.
Mm-hmm.
We already knew... It's like with Batman, they... keep on doing an origin story. Each time they do a reboot, they do an origin story, which like, okay, I think most people kind of have an idea of what we already had an origin story.
Yeah.
And this one, he doesn't have an origin story.
No, they completely take out it.
They only like a 2-second
mention
sentence.
Uncle Ben. All he is like, Aunt May. I can't do this. I can't hurt Aunt May.
Yeah.
She's been through too much already. And it's kind of nice not to have that beating over to the head. Hey, Spider-Man could have saved Uncle Ben, and we already know that.
It was nice to not have it because I think people kind of are getting a little fatigued by it.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to kind of just go in and be like, you know what, we're just gonna make references to it, and that's about it. And it's like, okay, fair enough. I thought it was nice, and like I said, I think that, like I said, Robert Downey doesn't overdo it. I also really like, actually, Jon Favreau in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Jon Favreau is funny in this movie. He's funny. I thought he did a really solid job in it, and we hadn't seen him since Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time since we've seen his character.
And another spoiler, which we will get into later, another character we haven't seen in a while, too.
Yes, absolutely. So that too. And Marissa Tomei does a really great job as well.
For everybody who watches the film, she's known as the Hot Aunt.
The Hot Aunt, they kind of coined that phrase in Civil War.
Hot Italian woman, Aunt May.
Hot Italian woman, Aunt May. So that's really good. I also thought the action scenes were really good.
Oh, yeah.
As well as the acting, the action, and the special effects were very on point.
Yeah, I
did a very good job with each one of those.
The action scenes are not like blow them away craziness.
Yeah.
But I thought for a Spider-Man movie, they were just enough.
I think it reminded me a lot of the first Spider-Man movie that they did.
Okay.
But then it didn't get choppy like it did in like an Amazing Spider-Man, where it just felt like the action scenes were overdone.
Absolutely, I agree completely. And so I think that was really good. I thought that the editing was really good. I thought the music was really good. Michael Giacchino, who I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah.
I love his scores. He did an amazing job with that.
He used a lot of what was it, like 80s, 90s music?
80s, 90s music spurred into it, yes.
Well, that's one thing I really wish it wasn't so much of a music video at times.
Really? Because I liked that whole, like, Breakfast Club vibe that they had.
Yeah, well,
You didn't like it.
I didn't hate it, but I wish they would tone that part down.
Okay.
This is like a movie such as what's Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and Kevin Spacey. And
Seven.
Seven, thank you. It's like they kind of crank up the music, and I don't mind it, but I wish it wasn't much of a music video feel.
Well, they wanted to make it like a fun sort of.
I got that,
yeah.
but I thought the humor already did that.
Yeah.
You know what? You're actually really right, because it is a lot like Seven when they put Aunt May's head in a box.
Very
and
true.
ends
Right.
up having
You
to
know,
go and see it. So yeah.
So you get it.
So I do.
You have Spider-Man there. What's in the box?
Don't open it.
Box.
Don't open the box. So yeah.
A new Tony Stark weapon.
Oh no. No.
Glue her head back on.
Yeah, they just glued her head back on. So yeah, but I mean, is there any points that we're missing? Is there any
I think that's it. I think
I like how
mean,
they didn't hint at some characters who they're potentially out to be, like one.
like spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler.
like the guy the Tinkerer.
The Tinkerer, yes.
I'm wondering maybe that could be that guy who was working with all the tech.
Yeah, I mean,
The Shocker, but he's not. He wasn't in a suit. He just had the glove.
Had the glove.
and
the
future other
Shocker.
villains that will be coming.
Future other villains that are coming, and also the idea of how it ties into the cinematic universe of Marvel is something I really enjoyed, because there's a potential for the cinematic universe to kind of not a lot of great ties to it. Like, you know, some of it could be a little flimsy. Here, actually, it was really well done. I liked it.
It did, yeah, right. Like what you said, it connected.
It connected really well to it, and I feel like this is the start of something great for Marvel, because, you know what, I think, you know, I love the Iron Mans, I love the Captain Americas, I love all that stuff. You know, you need the fresh blood, you need to keep bringing in people, and if you're going to bring in somebody, a big player, you bring in Spider-Man.
Because, you know, eventually they're going to start whole new teams, and eventually...
But, you know, eventually people are... You know, we know nothing about future movies, but people are going to go to the wayside eventually.
You know,
and we
not
need
all these
new
actors
people.
are going to want to keep coming back for movie after movie after movie.
Yes, and so we need to bring in people that are going to continue the brand.
Yeah,
and
like Black Panther.
Black Panther, Spider-Man, you know, Doctor Strange, you know, people like that. So yes, there is new blood coming in, and it's great to see him doing it, and this was a fantastic movie. As far as major spoilers, if we want to say stuff, by the way, guys, we are now getting into major spoilers. So we're just going to do it for a few minutes, and then that's it. But is there any major spoilers you guys really want to talk about?
The very end.
Yes.
Where the Vulture, which I'm kind of glad... Well, the Vulture was as vicious as in the movie as in the comics. I like
Yes.
But when he's in prison, which I'm glad they didn't kill him off, like the other films they've done.
That's been a problem, but I think it's good that they're kind of holding him for maybe something in the future.
Well, a lot of the Spider-Man stuff, most of the villains almost never get killed off, or they just get arrested. Or
but in the movies, they
killed off. They kill them off.
That's the difference.
Which, like, what? No.
Who
Where
knows?
the one guy who is another vicious, but this guy's a vicious killer, tells him the word on the street is, you know who Spider-Man is.
Yeah.
And he says, well, if I knew who he was, I would have killed him. And I'm like, wow, what a slightly honorable thing for Vulture to do. And I think a part of that is, well, Spider-Man saved his daughter and also saved his life.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of like, okay, I'm going to keep your identity quiet, but I'm still coming after you.
But do you almost think that maybe he's saving that for maybe an opportunistic moment?
Of course. But I think much like most villains who actually know like an identity of the hero,
Sure.
they kind of keep that quiet.
Okay.
Because that's part of the game.
Yeah, and they can manipulate them later on.
That, but they feel honor bound to like, okay, you saved my life, you saved my daughter, you did this, you did the right thing.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm not going to tell everyone who you are, but I'm still coming after you.
Yes, that's the thing.
And that makes him, to me, a really even a better character than someone like, I'm going to just tell everybody. It almost gives him a little bit of a deeper character.
Okay.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I do agree with it. I do agree with that. I also want to say that, look, we do get introduced to a new MJ.
Yes.
Who is played by Zendaya. And I know people are gonna freak
out on the race issue, but first of all, her character is not based on race.
No.
Her character is based on being, well, in the comics, a gorgeous party girl.
Yeah.
A very popular party girl.
Yes.
And in this,
she's kind of the opposite.
She's the exact opposite.
She's kind of carefree / uncaring about not about rules, but she's smart, capable, and I think she has a thing for Peter, because each time Peter's somewhere, she's there.
Yes.
And it has that feel to it, and you're like, okay.
But they don't overdo it.
No.
They don't overdo it.
Especially in the first one.
And they definitely are basically saying, look, then there's potential for someplace to go in the next film.
Her name is Margaret, but her friends call her MJ.
I thought it was Michelle.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Michelle?
Yeah, it was Michelle, yeah.
because she's like, you guys call me Michelle.
I keep on mixing names.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, that, and, I mean, as far as other spoilers are concerned, I mean, not a lot of crazy spoilers.
Certain character, remember, that we weren't expecting to come back, but did?
What's that?
Avengers.
What?
Remember the last scene right before? Remember when you?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. Pepper Potts.
Which we weren't expecting to come back.
Which, by the way,
just a cameo.
Just a cameo. It was a really nice surprise cameo, but a little bit of continuity issue with Civil War, which Tony says that they're no longer together.
Yeah, I think his exact words were like, we're on kind of a break or something.
Did he say that?
Yeah. That's
okay, he might have, and then maybe they're back together now or something. But okay, so maybe it's not a continuity thing. So whatever. So it probably isn't. So
maybe he begged and begged and begged, and she took him back.
And she took him back, and maybe marriage, because there's like a ring or something.
Yeah,
there might be a proposal at least.
A proposal, because they got all these reporters there. You got to give them something juicy. So
well, guess what? Give you a ring.
The face that she makes when she sees the ring, she's like
where's this coming from?
She's almost on her own.
Like, we were nowhere near this place.
We are nowhere near this. We probably just got back together.
Yes.
But that would be Tony Stark. He would be
Tony.
That would be Tony being Tony.
That was his character, kind of like being something.
Knowing him, he'd have
slightly reckless and.
He'd have like an Iron Man type ring, transform every time
it
gets on her hand.
Something like that. But no, that was a nice surprise. And also, I do want to say that Peter Parker makes a decision at the end of the film,
which I think it was the best moment.
I think it was the best decision for him to make.
He decides not to take the suit
and become an Avenger.
Yes.
Like he probably realizes he's too young.
Yeah.
He has a lot more things to do. At least finish high school.
At least get more experience.
And one thing I wish that they, instead of giving him the super duper suit, not obviously the Iron Man suit, but kind of a downgrade suit that still has the maybe the little the symbol that has a little drone in it.
Yeah.
A different web shooters. And maybe a suit that can absorb some impact, and that's it.
True.
Yeah,
not the super duper, or even the lenses. I thought that was kind of cute and clever.
Yeah.
I did too. I thought a lot of stuff with the suit, actually, the mechanics of the suit and all the special features of it, actually was really cool. I thought it was much better than they've done in the past.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know if you guys remember the cartoon series that they had for it. There was one where he gets abducted by an interdimensional alien. He meets alternate versions of himself. He meets sort of like an Iron Man version of himself.
Well, this is the suit is a kind of a touch on Civil War when the Civil War, Tony Stark, and during Civil War, he gives them a suit when he pretty much tells the world, Spider-Man, Peter Parker, and he has a suit that actually has 4 extra limbs and can do this and that. But this suit doesn't really have that, but it has something even a little bit better.
It's really clever, a lot of the stuff that's in it,
and the suit doesn't look all too bad.
No, I think
other than the torso part was like a little too advanced looking.
Okay,
but
what do you think of the other suit that near the end?
There's a suit that is just shown at the end. You don't really get to see it all that great. It's very glossy. You don't really get to see it all that much. But I didn't really like that suit. Personally.
The only thing that makes me wonder is if that suit that he already has is that advanced. It makes me wonder what this one can do.
Probably since Tony realized like he's still on his training wheels.
I think
probably
it's just
downgraded it just
thing.
a little bit, enough where he's like, okay, he's going to need some help, but not that much help.
Not that much help, no.
Because it's all about him, not the suit. If you like in the movie, he says, what do you say? Something like, if I'm nothing without the suit, well, if you're
nothing without the suit,
then you
shouldn't have it. And I like that whole responsibility angle. I like just the whole message of Spider-Man, and this movie really brings it home. And it's nice that they tie it in with Iron Man. It feels like a really good friendship that they have together. And going forward, that'll be really cool. So I gotta ask you guys, before we give our ratings, do you guys have any other thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming?
That's it. That's pretty much it for me.
That's it for you? That's it for me. I don't know.
I mean, like, went back in the beginning. It's like, I love how you find out that, like they said, with all the messes that the Avengers made, you see how they reconnect to each of the other movies.
Yes.
You get to see, like, the Chitauri, Ultron, even the Dark Elves tech.
Yes, you get to see that too.
Which I thought was pretty cool, how they connected to all those films.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool connections, and
we find out what they do with all the alien tech that they keep.
Yeah, it's a lot of cool connections, and a lot of maybe questions that you had are even answered in this. So what's your grade rating?
This is gonna be tough.
Yeah.
My grade rating on this is an A+.
Yeah.
This is better than the original Spider-Man, and I love the original Spider-Man.
Yeah, so
I'd probably have to I'd have to agree with Ron here.
Yeah, so
this movie was literally, there was almost nothing, I can't even really think of anything that was super negative.
I can't remember. So you're agreeing?
I'd have to go with A+.
Okay, I'm gonna go with an A+ as well. I'm gonna go with that too. I thought it was really good. I thought it was solid. So it's all across the board. I thought it was really good.
3 in a row, and Marvel hits another one out the park.
Another one out the park.
And it's a nice long, but not
it doesn't
feel too long.
It doesn't overstay its welcome.
No.
Yes.
And sometimes a movie can do that. They found the perfect length to it, and it completely worked. So, guys, that is our review for Spider-Man Homecoming. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Sorry for the absolute train wreck of a review that we've had, whether the camera's been falling down or somebody's playing loud music now. So sorry for the craziness, but yeah, I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back next time for another review. All right?
Take care, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Bye.